Brother lads, welcome back to the Cossy Arsenal podcast. My name is Cossy. Welcome back to brand new video. This is the latest Arsenal news and transfer news as well. Mikel Arteta would sign Alexander Isak this summer if he had a chance to sign just one player. This is according to a very credible source who say that Mikel Arteta is a big fan of Alexander Isak, and if he was offered one chance just to sign one player, that would be Alexander Isak this summer without a doubt. Now that confirms that Mikel Arteta has a dream transfer list, and we are going to be revealing that dream transfer list because Edu has said this has been worked on since January. We have 3 players that we're going to be speaking into this morning. We have 2 players in the Premier League. We have 1 in the Dutch Eredivisie, and obviously we have a defensive player and an attacking player on this list as well. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel as well. Let's get this video to 300 likes. If you had to sign one player for Arsenal this summer, who would it be and in which position? Would it be a striker? Would it be a midfielder? Or would it be a centre back or left back? And who would it be? Because for me, if I had to sign one player for Arsenal in this summer, I would be absolutely going for a striker, and I'll be going for Victor Gyökeres. My reasons for going for Victor Gyökeres will be coming out in a video that I have titled My Dream Transfer Window for Arsenal this summer. For now, let's dive into Mikel Arteta's transfer summer and what he wants to do this summer and what he thinks is going to be the curtain raiser and the level raiser at Arsenal. Now, in at number 3 is Gerard Hato. This is a big Mikel Arteta target. Gerard Hato is one of the players that Mikel loves very much, and this summer, despite the fact that Gerard Hato has a new deal at Ajax, Arsenal are still being tipped as one of the favorite destinations for this boy beyond the summer of 2024. Now, Gerard Hato is a left back who can also play as a centre back, or actually, he's a centre back who can play as a left back as well. He's a young player, 18 years of age, and a great leader for Ajax. Now, obviously, you know the problems that have happened at Ajax. They've lost a couple of players in the previous transfer summers, and they've not replaced them very well. The likes of Julian Timber leaving, the likes of Lisandro Martinez leaving in that centre back line. It meant that they were either going to have to sign players who are going to step up quickly, or they're going to have youngsters that would step up and take on the responsibility of replacing Julian Timber and the big man himself, Lisandro Martinez. In one of those players is Gerard Hato. He's been absolutely sensational and immense for Ajax, and many clubs are looking at him. He's just signed a new deal. He's just 18. So many clubs out there want him. And if I were Arsenal, I would sign him at Ajax or from Ajax, and I would leave him there for another year. This is the reason. I don't think Ajax want to sell. But Ajax are definitely going to be overwhelmed by the number of offers and the nature of offers that are going to come in for Gerard Hato. I doubt Chelsea will fail to splash around 60 million on this boy. I doubt Man United, where you have Erik ten Hag, will fail to spend around 50 million on this guy. Now, his market value is around 30 to 35 million euros. I've been told, not market value, but what would be the asking price. I've been told that he could sign for Arsenal at around 25 to 30 million pounds. That is such a very good deal. I mean, for an 18-year-old, that is one of the best young centre-backs in the world, for you to come to you at just 18 for 25 million, that is such a great deal. Think about Gabriel Magalhaes. Think about, William Saliba. Think about Jakub Kiwior. All these players have not signed for Arsenal for a fee above 40 million. And if Arsenal were to send Saliba right now, that's 100 million. Gabriel right now to Saudi Arabia, that's 100 million. Jakub Kiwior, probably you would say 30 million in Jakub Kiwior. I think he's had a fantastic season, and many clubs out there would have to have a solid centre-back or a solid left-back like Jakub Kiwior. Versatile, ball-playing centre-back. He's got that aerial ability, and defensively, he's got that awareness of a good Premier League player. So I think Gerard Hato, and why Mikel Arteta likes him very much, he gives you a replica of Josko Gvardiol. He gives you a replica of Julian Timber. I still think Julian Timber is going to play a lot of minutes at left back rather than right back. But I think what Mikel wants is to have a centre back that can cover for Gabriel and a centre back that can cover for Saliba. Obviously, with Saliba, you have Tomiyasu there, you have Ben White who can play at centre back as well, and Julian Timber can play at right centre back. But it's left centre back where Mikel Arteta is not 100% sure. We've got enough cover. I mean, you've got Timber who can play there, but of course he's not left-footed. Then you've got Kivio, but do you trust Kivio that 100% to play at the topmost level, maybe against the Bayern? No, we don't. So I think Gerard Harto, left back stroke centre back, that is a priority for Mikel, and I kind of understand why it is a priority. But also financially, it's a deal that really makes a lot of sense. I expect either of Zinchenko or Kivio to leave. Kieran is also leaving this summer. So I think we will see some departures at left back. We will see some departures in defense for Arsenal. Cedric will leave, and one unexpected signing. So if Arsenal make one unexpected unexpected departure, Gerard Harto comes in as that, as that cross-sectional signing. Can play at centre back, can play at left back. He's a confident lad, and I think he's one of the players that come in and they don't have a lot of pressure to deliver right away because the centre-back line is already, sorted. The fullback positions are already sorted. So he just comes in to get that little bit of experience, but also to, add to the squad depth. I mean, we will see him in the FA Cup. We will see him in the Carabao Cup. We'll see him in the UEFA Champions League when Arsenal have already qualified for the round of 16 and things like that. So let me know what you think about Gerard Harto, but I think Mikel Arteta is going to have to work so hard to get him out of Ajax. He's such a young player, but important player for them. But, like Fabrizio says, Arsenal have monitored him, Arsenal have looked at him, and they don't care whether he signed a new deal. They are still thinking they'll get him. They are still working to get Gerard Harto this summer. If that is not a priority signing, if that is not a dream signing for Mikel Arteta, then you tell me who is. So Gerard Harto, 18 years, centre-back, stroke left back. We know he is a big player. But who else is on the list? The next one is Alexander Isak. I've talked about Alexander Isak at the beginning of the video, and we all can agree he is Mikel Arteta's boy. He is liked by Mikel Arteta. Alexander Isak not joining Arsenal is the same way the university would send me an email right now and say you've completed everything you've studied and you don't have a first class. I'll be like, what's going on? You mean I don't have a first class? How did this happen? Because for me, Alexander Isak is destined to play for Mikel Arteta. And I know there is talk about Arsenal not spending a lot of money. I know there is talk about Arsenal being cautious with how much they want to spend. This signing of Alexander Isak won't be a surprise for me in any way, shape, or form, right? I know he's expensive. Newcastle are saying we want 200 million. We are asking for in excess of 200 million if we are going to think about it. But Newcastle asking for 200 million and Newcastle really wanting 200 million, those are two different things, right? Alexander Isak is one of the players that can definitely be touched at Newcastle. Yes, they don't want to sell, but if someone came in with 100 million, genuinely, if a club came in with 100 million and Alexander Isak is pushing to join that club, would Newcastle stand in his way? That's the first question. Would Newcastle really stand in his way? Yes, he's got a contract running on. His wages are going to be cut, so they're trying to renegotiate the terms and conditions of his contract. But do I think Newcastle will stand in his way? I don't think so. Do I think that Newcastle will turn 110 million away for an Alexander Isak? I really don't think so. Now, why Mikel Arteta wants Alexander Isak is very easy to see and self-explanatory. What Arsenal want this summer is a forward, and Fabrizio actually puts it very clearly. He says Arsenal are not looking for a winger in specific or a striker in specific. So we might get two, that is a winger and a striker, or we might get just one, a forward that can play on the wings and also can play as a number 9. Hence, why we're linked with Alexander Isak heavily, but also hence why we're linked with players like Marcus Rashford. Because what Marcus Rashford does, he can double as a number 9 and then he can double as a left winger. Obviously, Manchester United players and fans don't want to hear him, saying he can double as a number 9 because he's a little bit wasteful. But you understand what I'm talking about. So with Alexander Isak, what are his best attributes, and what are the best attributes of his game? Alexander Isak's best attributes are a powerful runner, a powerful ball carrier, a sensational finisher, and one of the most gifted players in the Premier League with exceptional technical ability. When we talk about all that, which players come to your mind? The players that come to my mind, I'm thinking about Luis Alberto Suarez, Liverpool and FC Barcelona. I'm thinking about a Karim Benzema, Real Madrid. So those are the kind of players I'm thinking about. Like Karim Benzema was like number 9 through and through. But Karim Benzema could sprint. Karim Benzema could create. Karim Benzema could beat a man in the tightest of spaces on the line. That was Karim Benzema. So when I think about Alexander Isak, I'm thinking this is your number 9. But if you don't want him to play as a 9, if you want Kai Havertz to continue as your number 9, then Alexander Isak can come in just as a forward. You just play him alongside Kai Havertz, or you just play a 4-3-3 with Saka, Isak, and Kai Havertz. And I think that's what Mikel has in mind. If you have a player like Kai Havertz, who's very good at ghosting into spaces and creeping into spaces, how about you bring in a player like Alexander Isak, who is going to attract attention and is going to take all the attention away from Kai Havertz. So I think he really likes him. He's wanted him from the days at Real Sociedad. This could be the last opportunity for Arsenal to sign Alexander Isak. If Newcastle strengthen and they bring their project back on road, because at the moment with injuries and the lack of Europe, I kind of feel like their project is a little bit off the course, but it's still very, very strong. But this is the perfect summer for us to go out there and negotiate a deal for Alexander Isak. Do I think it's going to be 200 million? No, it will be around 120. Honestly, they bought him for 60. I think they would want to make an extra 60 million, right? And also, it would depend on the Guimaraes deal. If no one signs Guimaraes for maybe the 80 million, the 90 million that Newcastle are looking for, they know they can get reliable money. They can get sure deal money in the sale of Alexander Isak. So it's a deal that is going to be very interesting to see what happens. I don't think Arsenal are the only ones interested. I think PSG will try on him because they have lost Kylian Mbappe. I think Man United should be trying on him for me as well. And maybe your Chelsea. Your Chelsea should be trying on Alexander Isak. But Mikel Arteta is really big on Alexander Isak. Now, to complete his list of dream signings, you have your Brazilian Mickey Mouse, the shithousery Bruno Guimaraes. Now, for Bruno Guimaraes, we are talking about an all-rounded midfielder. And what Mikel Arteta, wants in this Arsenal team is players that can do a little bit of both. I've talked about this before. A little bit of both. Can you defend when we are out of position? Guimaraes can. Rice can. Odegaard can. Kai Havertz can. Saka can. Trossard and Martinelli do it very well. Like, when have you seen players playing on the flanks like Saka and Martinelli having such a work ethic and putting in such defensive numbers? I mean, our players are really going underappreciated. And I'm one of the people that are really underappreciating what they do, especially when it comes to Saka. He puts in a lot, really a lot, in terms of, defensive work. So let's talk about Bruno Guimaraes and why Mikel Arteta is really dying to get that 100 million release clause triggered. Defensive ability, 100%. Offensive ability and technical ability, 100%. Work ethic, 100%. Discipline, I'm not really sure about the discipline. I wouldn't say 100%. I don't think his discipline levels, Jorginho-like, or Declan Rice. I don't think he's got the same discipline as I have. Because for me, on this planet, I'm one of the most disciplined beings you could find, whether that is in the kingdom, animal kingdom, plant kingdom, fungi, or wherever. I'm one of the most disciplined, animals, and one of the most disciplined creatures you can ever find on planet Earth. So when you think about Gimmerish, I don't think he's as disciplined as Rice, Odegaard, and Cossy. I don't think he's that disciplined. But I'm thinking Mikel Arteta could use a little bit of Granit Xhaka, a bully, on the ball, but also a bully off the ball. Just imagine if we had a fight breakout. Now, I know Arsenal have huge players. I mean, you don't want to cause, a fight or start a fight with a team that has Declan Rice, huge, Saliba, huge, Gabriel, huge, Kai Havertz, tall, maybe not very huge, but very tall, and he's got that physicality. So you don't want to cause a fight. And of course, the likes of Benny Blanco, who love that bit of shithousery. But this guy would be the new Granit Xhaka. Apart from his versatility, obviously, Xhaka was versatile. Could play in the 6, could play in the 8. His passing range and his passing quality is absolutely fantastic. But the shithousery. And when I say shithousery, what I mean is that bit of nuisance. Every team should have that little bit of nuisance. Like Bruno Fernandes could be a nuisance. Casemiro could be a nuisance. At City, who would be the nuisance at City? Mentality monster Rodri. I don't think Rodri is so calm. Rodri is so calm. I don't think he's their shithousery. I don't think he's their nuisance player. Okay. I think I would go with Rodri. Honestly, I think I would go with Rodri. Then you have Liverpool. Who'd go with Liverpool? Maybe Darwin Núñez. Bit of a shithousery there. And Liverpool. So I think you need that kind of player. And we benefited from the days where Xhaka was in that role, right? Kind of a nuisance in the team. And Mikel Arteta really enjoyed him to the fact that Arsenal got some good money out of the sale of Granit Xhaka, even though most of us wanted him to leave on a free before the arrival of Mikel Arteta. So Mikel wants those 3 big signings: Jora Hato, Alexander Isak, and Bruno Gimmerish. Mine, if I were to sign one player, that would be Victor Gyökeres. But I'm going to release my dream signings, and we don't have Isak there. We don't have Gimmerish there. We do not even have Jora Hato there. So you're going to be very, very intrigued.